You could always, please, right, there are comments in Blackboard. Please, if you have an issue with the way something is graded, ask me, right? If it's in Blackboard, it's got comments, I can go and look at the comments. I did pick up some work study this term I'm totally stoked about because we can give students money. You ever heard the phrase, if you don't use it, you'll lose it? The math department gets a certain amount of funds that we get to use, and the budget keeps tightening down at the school. And if we don't use those funds, they get lost and go somewhere else. So we're scrambling to find ways to use the funds. So some old students of mine from Math 243 and 244 wanted to grade quizzes for me, and I think they want to grade projects too. So you'll see comments from people's names sometimes other than me. Like you may have noticed, I think Haley might have graded the last couple quizzes you guys submitted, although you might not have seen it yet. It depends on if you look at who grades it or not. They're fantastic. They're great graders. I just saw the feedback Haley put on the quizzes that she sent back to you guys. It's awesome. So things like, nice job. Hey, you almost had it except this. And I'm like, yes, I mean, you sound like me. That's great. So just realize, if you have a comment on the grading, just email me back, and I'll get back to you about it. I'll go in, look, check her comments, see. Sometimes I override what she says. No offense, Kelly, I love you. Sometimes I'll override what she says. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes we'll have a point, we'll have a discussion. But the idea is, grades change, right? Grades can change. If you think you lost points unfairly, just ask me, and I'll look, okay? Don't just sit there and be like, I know I got that right, it's wrong. I learned this a long time ago. I was in a spelling bee when I was very tiny. I still remember this. This is how much it scarred me. And I was about in 5th or 6th grade. Little tyke. That little. But, and I got a microphone. Mr. Ackerman. Never forget his name. Mr. Ackerman. Spell entry. Entry. E-N-T-R-Y. Entry. Bing! Bing was bad in a spelling bee. They just spelled it wrong. I said, okay, I sat back down to my mom. And then the next 3 kids all spelled it wrong, and they found out they said, the correct word spelling of entry is E-N-T-R-E-E. And I'm sitting at my desk going, okay. So this guy's a teacher, he's pronouncing entree wrong. But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything, right? I just sat there, my mom just sat there, all of us that got it marked wrong just sat there. Because we had this belief that somehow because this guy taught middle school, he was smarter than us, right? When it comes to assessment like that, let's have a conversation. We can all learn something from each other. Don't assume that just because Haley or I grade something wrong, that we're right 100% of the time. Sometimes we miss something. And if you bring it to our attention, okay? Another more recent example. I just helped a student who took 243 at Eastern Oregon University. OSU said they wouldn't accept it as 243 here. And I said, that seems weird. You took 243. Like, why wouldn't they accept it here? So what all our students do, they'll say, okay, I'll just take it again here. And I'm like, I don't want you to do that. That's a lot of money. If you already took the course once, I'm just taking it twice. So I said, why won't they accept it? And she said, well, they say it's not the same course content. And I'm like, well, can you give me the course content that you did at EOU? And she said, yeah. So she did. And then I took the course content that we teach at 243 here, and I put them next to each other. And I was like, well, that's the same course. Why would they not accept that?
They're so picky.
So I sent that course content to OSU. It was then sent over to the Valley, and guess what happened? They said, check. You don't have to take 243 anymore. But you see, the only way we get that next move made is because somebody brought it up and we managed to start a conversation about it.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about on a very small scale with grading. If something happens you don't like it, just ask me and we'll look at it, yeah?
Sometimes it's just error by the person.
Sometimes
No
it is.
one's perfect, so.
And nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
which is why I'm talking about grading, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a malevolent, intentional, nefarious, a lot of big words, nefarious, N-E-F-A-R-I-O-U-S. It's not a nefarious thing. It's not a nefarious thing. It's just an accident, or it's an oversight, or somebody didn't have enough coffee and they overlooked it. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, right?
Yeah.
Start the conversation. Cool?
Cool.
Sorry, that was a little bit of a first thing in the morning.